Hello everyone, welcome back to English lesson year 4. We are going to continue with module 5, Eating Right. Before we start, please make sure you are ready with your PDPR module and your Get Smart Plus for Students book. Let's look at the learning objectives for today. By the end of the lesson, pupils should be able to identify, listen to, and circle the food mentioned correctly. Next one, categorize food items into countable and uncountable correctly. Next one, fill in the blanks with the correct indefinite pronoun a or an. Identify pictures pertaining to food items and fill in the blanks accordingly. Finally, answer questions pertaining to the pictures shown correctly and accurately. Do you still remember countable and uncountable nouns? We have learned this before, so I hope you still can remember what is meaning of countable. Countable nouns means can be counted. Alright, so these are the examples: buns, burgers, sandwiches, sausages, fries, and cookies. While for the uncountable nouns, the things cannot be counted. So these are the examples: bread, butter, cheese, cereal, chocolate, mustard, and salt. Alright, now I would like you to refer to your module and do the first activity. Find and circle the food. So look at all the food here. So you need to find the name of the food. For example, okay, so this you need to find the word. Okay, here you can find the word noodles, so you have to circle the food. Okay, now try to do for all the food. Now, let's move on to activity 2. So you need to write the food in the correct group. So in your first activity, you need to find the name of the food, such as noodles. So noodles, you circle the word. Now, it is time for you to put all the food into the correct group. The first group is we can count, meaning that this is for countable nouns. We cannot count means for uncountable nouns. So, you put the name of the food into the correct group. For example, kiwi. Okay, we can count kiwi. Kiwi is a countable noun, so we put into this group. We can count. Next one, butter. Butter is uncountable noun. That's why we need to put into the correct group. We cannot count. So try to proceed with all the food. Okay, peach, butter, lemon juice, sugar, watermelon, orange juice, noodles, cheese, pear, and flour. Okay, so you put uh, all the food into the correct group. Now, let's look at your next activity. Activity 3. You need to read and then write a or an or some. So, in the previous lesson, you have learned when to use a or an. A or an is only for one. Okay? But an is for the words that start with A, E, I, O, U. Okay, and then the usage of some. So you need to read the sentence and then try to write the answer. Okay, let's do together. Number 1, we need flour and eggs to make pancakes. So, what is the answer? Flour, we cannot count. Okay, eggs we can count, but here more than one. Definitely we cannot use an. Although the word starts with E, but we cannot use an because eggs are more than one. So definitely the answer will be some flour and some eggs to make pancakes. Number 2, there are kiwis in the fridge. So it is the same thing with eggs. Kiwis more than one. We cannot use a or an, because you have to remember a or an is only for one. Okay, a or an is only for one. So you need to remember that. So the answer will be some kiwis. Next one, number 3. There's sugar in the cupboard. Okay, we cannot count sugar. That's why we have to use some. Okay, next one. There's biscuit for you too. Okay, so here, one biscuit. So we can use a biscuit. There's a biscuit for you too. Number 5. There's lemonade on the table and sandwich too. So lemonade, we cannot count. So that's why we have to use some lemonade and a sandwich too, because we can count sandwich. And then number 6, you can have apple and ice cream. So this one is one apple and one ice cream. So we have to use an. So the answer will be an apple and an ice cream for dessert.
Module 5. Smart Kids. Vocabulary. A bag of crisps. A carton of milk. A piece of cake. A box of cereal. A can of lemonade. A bottle of water.
Okay, so based on the vocabulary that you learned just now, so you are going to do activity 4. What food is there in the kitchen? Look and write. So you need to look at this picture and then try to fill in the answer here. So I already provided the choices of answers: bag, bottles, carton, cans, and box. So you need to do this exercise in your module. Okay, for example, number 2. There are 2 of water and of juice in the fridge. So what are you going to use for water? Is it a bag, bottles, carton, cans, or box? Juice, what are you going to use? A bag, bottles, carton, cans, or box? So choose wisely. You can refer to the vocabulary that you can watch in this video. Now let's move on to activity 5. Look at the picture in activity 5 and answer. Okay, so for this exercise, you need to read the question. Okay, for example, number 1. Are there any bottles of lemonade on the table? So, you need to look at the question. Bottles of lemonade on the table. So, is that correct? So, look at the table. Are there any bottles of lemonade here on the table? No, right? So, you need to write the answer. No, there aren't any bottles of lemonade. Okay, now look at question number 2. Is there any cake in the fridge? So you need to look at the question. Cake in the fridge. So you need to look at the fridge and you find the cake. Is there any cake here? If yes, then you can write the answer. Yes, there is a cake. If no, then you can write no, there isn't any cake. Okay, this one, no, they aren't. For this one, no, there isn't. because the question starts with is. So you have to answer using is. If the question starts with are, you need to use aren't, are or are in the answer. Number 3, are there any crisps in the cupboard? So look at the cupboard and then answer the question. Number 4, is there any juice in the fridge? So look at the fridge. Is there any juice? Number 5, are there any biscuits in the cupboard? So look at the cupboard. Are there any biscuits? And the last one, is there any milk in the fridge? So you have to look at the fridge and you have to see whether is there any milk in the fridge. Okay, good luck and try to complete all the exercises in the module. Okay, the last activity for today is what's in your fridge? Look and write. So you need to look at your fridge, okay? And then try to write a simple sentences. Try to write simple sentences about the things that you have in your fridge. So I give you an example. In my fridge, there's some eggs, kiwis, apples, and a carton of milk. There are also 2 bottles of water, 5 cans of lemonade, and 2 cartons of orange juice. So for this activity, you can write anything that you like. You may refer to your textbook or you can write the things that you have in your fridge. Okay? Alright everyone, I think that's all for today. I will see you in the next lesson. Thank you everyone and please stay at home and stay safe.